What is going on, everybody? I am back today to talk about the next installment in the Alien franchise. As I said, the movie Alien Romulus was released recently, and because of the release of that film, I wanted to go back through and watch the entire series of Alien films. And I'm a huge fan of the original Alien. If you saw my video, it's one of my favorite films of all time. And growing up, I watched Alien and Aliens a lot. I was always a bigger fan of Alien than Aliens. But in rewatching this, I was interested because it has been several years since I've seen Aliens. It's definitely in my rotation less than the original Alien. And I always look forward to revisiting these films the older I get, just to kind of see how I perceive the movie and where it kind of stacks up in my mind comparatively to the last time when I watched it. And I'm excited to discuss Aliens with you today. Aliens is directed by James Cameron. Ripley, the sole survivor of the Nostromo's deadly encounter with the monstrous alien, returns to Earth after drifting through space in hypersleep for 57 years. Although her story is initially met with skepticism, she agrees to accompany a team of Colonial Marines back to LV-426. So, as I said, I haven't seen this movie in a few years, but I was really excited to revisit it. And this movie is a ton of fun. It's incredibly entertaining. It's very like edge of your seat thrills, especially towards the second half of the movie. But this movie does not come anywhere close to Alien for me. As much fun as I have with this movie, I feel like the action schlock kind of tone of the film kills a lot of the tension for me. What makes Alien such a special film is the way that it builds tension and suspense and the patience that that movie has building up to its climax. If you watch Aliens, it's essentially the same movie as Alien. People show up on a spaceship, face huggers come in, aliens come into play. I won't give away the ending, but if you've seen both films, it's kind of comical how much each film, like beat by beat, is so similar. But where Alien is one alien and you're on this spaceship and there's a lot more tension and suspense, this movie is like James Cameron saying, let's throw way more aliens at the audience so that it feels much more like an action film. And while, like I said, it's incredibly entertaining, but it doesn't live up to the original for me at least. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit as I break the film down. So as the plot description states, reintroduced to Ripley at the beginning of the film, played by Sigourney Weaver, and we literally see her right where things ended at the end of Alien. She's on this spaceship and another ship discovers her ship, and like the inside is all like frosty, and they end up getting her out of her cryo chamber, and we find out that she has been in that chamber for 57 years, and she's telling her story to members of the Weyland-Yutani group and saying, like, we went to this planet LV-426, we went there were all these eggs, something jumped out of the eggs, attached itself to the face of one of our crew members, it implanted this embryo inside of them, an alien was born, and it killed off my whole crew, and I managed to shoot it out of the airlock of my ship and kill it. You have to go back and investigate this. And Burke, played by Paul Reiser, who works for the Weyland-Yutani group, he's in the room and they're having this discussion, and they say, hey, this planet has been colonized for the past like 20 years. So 20 some years after Ripley was there, colonizers went there. They've built this thing on the planet where it allows oxygen to circulate. Like, people are living there. There's an entire community. And she's just blown away. Like, there's no way that this is happening. The aliens would have taken them all out by now. And Burke ends up approaching her and saying, hey, we're going to take a crew onto this planet to see if what you're saying is actually true. And if something has happened, we're going to take out these aliens and make sure that everyone on the colony is safe. And she's haunted by these nightmares and just tormented by what occurred to her in the first film. She reluctantly agrees to travel with this group back to this planet. And of course, they get to the planet. Colony is completely gone. A lot of things are destroyed. They're going around trying to find this colony. But instead they end up finding Newt, a little girl who is kind of hiding in the corridors, who says that something happened to her family and to the colony. And of course, the colony has been taken over by xenomorphs. There are a ton of aliens all throughout the colony, and the entire film is Ripley and this group of soldiers trying to fight off these aliens for their own survival. So as I said, this movie is wildly entertaining. It's very enjoyable, but it lacks everything, in my opinion, that makes the first movie so special. I do want to say Sigourney Weaver in this movie is phenomenal. I think she is such a talented actress. And in these movies specifically, there's something about her performance in this film I really like, especially early on when James Cameron allows a lot of the moments of like the PTSD that she's having because of the situation that she just lived through and like her sleepless nights and everything that she's dealing with. I feel like there's a lot of really great emotion established in the first act of the movie that is something I really appreciate. And she has a ton of like really badass moments in this movie that I really enjoy. I think she's a ton of fun. I think the young actress that plays Newt in this does a really great job. James Cameron loves movies about like kids being in danger and the adults coming to the rescue. It's like really funny that that's a reoccurring theme in so many of his movies. And he lays into it very heavily here. That's like the very much emotional core. Like this girl doesn't have her parents. Ripley comes in, becomes like the mother figure, and then how that compares to like the queen alien at the end of the movie. Like it's really interesting thematically how those things pair up. And I'm all right with it in this movie. All of the soldiers in the military outfit, they all have distinct personalities, but like Bill Paxton's character in this movie is one of the most annoying characters I've ever seen in a movie in my entire life. And Bill Paxton is a great actor, and I've loved him throughout his entire career. But watching this now, every time he was on screen, it was just driving me nuts. And I get like the whole point of his character is he's supposed to kind of be like this, start off as this really like macho looking, look at me, I can do anything, and like his real colors start to show as the film go on. But man, his dialogue is just completely and totally obnoxious. I think it's interesting because Hicks has become a really like beloved character in this franchise. Rewatching him in this movie, I didn't really care about his character all that much. He was kind of just like a guy that like had some charming moments with Sigourney Weaver's character, but like so many people that are upset with the direction of where Alien 3 goes at the beginning, it's like, did you really care about that character all that much? Like, there's not a whole lot of characteristics surrounding him. He's just like a nice guy. If anything, the most interesting character in this movie is Bishop, and I really like how they reincorporate a robot into this, but in a completely different way. How he doesn't have these like sinister intentions. He's just really trying to help the unit out, and I liked the shift in the characters there. But like I said, most of the performances in this are great outside of Bill Paxton, who just annoys the hell out of me the entire runtime of the movie. The practical effects in this are phenomenal. I also really love the set design. I love the location of this movie. It feels very lived in, and I really love the look of the xenomorphs in this film, especially when there's a ton of them coming at them all at once. Like, it's really interesting to see all the details in the costumes, and the queen alien at the end looks really incredible. She looks kind of like a spider almost. It's really interesting, the design that they came up with for her, and I appreciate it. And like I said, that theme of motherhood is kind of like resonant throughout the entire film, so it makes sense that Cameron wanted to do something. He likes to have his big bosses in all of his movies, so it doesn't surprise me that that was something that shows up in this film. And like I said, there are moments of genuine suspense. One of my favorite scenes in the entire movie is the scene where Ripley and Newt are in the medical bay and the face huggers get unleashed in the room. It's like genuinely suspenseful and truly horrific, which is what makes the original Alien so special to me. The face huggers are terrifying, probably one of the most horrific creatures in any movie that I can think of. And the way they're depicted in that scene, it just like amplifies the anxiety and the tension that the movie is trying to convey. But whenever it's scenes of like the military people running through hallways just firing off machine guns, like the xenomorphs become so much less scary. There's no like tension there. There's nothing that really keeps me on the edge of my seat. Like, it's high octane, and the score that's accompanying it, like, it keeps you on the edge of your seat. But I like the moments in this that are a little bit more reserved, and like Cameron plays with sound a little bit more and puts you back into the world of the original Alien rather than just like action schlock and Bill Paxton yelling, "What's going on, man? What's happening, man?" Like, anytime that was going on, I'm just like, I'm checked out of the movie. And it's interesting, like I said, when you look at Alien and Aliens paralleled, like how similar of movies that they are. Like, beat by beat on a plot basis, they feel very similar. And watching it this time, it was so funny. It's like, oh yeah, I remember this in Alien. I remember this in Alien. It's just, it's dialogue dialed up to 100 with the action. And I think your enjoyment of the original film or this film and which one you like more is solely going to be whether you like refined, quiet horror that like builds up into something really intense, or if you want more in your face action schlock, which there are people that like both. And there's nothing wrong with liking both of these movies. I think this movie is incredibly enjoyable. It's a lot of fun. I had a smile on my face through most of it. I just don't find it nearly as effective as Ridley Scott's original Alien. So have you seen Aliens? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I think this movie is incredibly entertaining. I have a ton of fun with it, despite the fact I think it's very flawed. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.